Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you're watching. I am here. This is In the Kitchen with Mimi, and I am here with my brand new Instant Pot Duo Evo Plus. We are going to try to make a turkey in it. So I want to first of all just show you just a little bit about this new pot. It's got this fantastic new features. We've got handles on the pot. We have measurements on the inside, and I'm sure you can't see this very well, but I did do another video that showed the opening of the box. But just wanted to show you just briefly a little bit in case you haven't seen that. And this fancy new lid. So we'll go through some of the details as we cook. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and put this just out of the way, and we're going to get started with our turkey and see how we go from there. I did purchase a rather large turkey. I'm not sure if it's going to fit in the Instant Pot. I have heard various bits and pieces of information about how large a turkey you can do in the Instant Pot. So we're just going to see how this goes, and I'll just take it a little along at a time. So my turkey has been in the refrigerator thawing for 3 days. It came frozen from the grocery store, and I'm going to get this out of the bag. I like to keep the bag close by so that as I'm needing to get rid of trash, I've got a bag right here beside me to do that. I try to keep my cooking very, very clean. All right, so this says we are looking at a 9.55 pound turkey. So hopefully this will work for us. And I got this from our local grocery store. Couldn't believe I paid 98 cents a pound, $9.36 for this turkey. It was a pretty good price. So I'm going to just take a knife and we're going to open it up as we go. And I'm opening it in a pan so that as the juices flow off of it, we're not making a big mess. Many times I'm going to do this over my sink, but for now we'll just, because we're recording, we're going to do it right here over this pan. All right, so we get this off, and I'm going to throw this away immediately. And then let's turn this around where we can kind of get to it a little easier. All right, so I'm going to, first of all, I wanted to show you something here, that we have a premium young turkey, and it is flavored with 9.5% added solution of turkey broth, salt, and spices. I've read many recipes on the internet that indicate all sorts of seasonings and flavorings and things that you can put on your turkey, but it's very difficult for me to find a turkey that does not already have seasonings and the broth and all of that added to it. So normally when we cook a turkey around my house at Thanksgiving, we just cook the turkey. We don't add any seasonings to it. Now the other day I did make a turkey breast. It had the same situation with it. It had all the things added to it, but I added seasonings and I did it in the Instant Pot. It turned out very well, but personally I didn't care for the flavor of it because I don't like all those added seasonings to it. But so we're just going to try this out, and you can see a little bit of the broth is starting to run off, and a little bit of the water. I'm going to just open this up from the top, and I'm being really careful with it because I don't want to get it all over the place. So there we go. I'll just take this right out. There we are. Now, anytime you're handling poultry, you need to be very, very, very clean about what you're doing, because poultry can cause salmonella bacteria, and so you want to constantly be washing your hands, washing the dishes that touch it, washing the counter where it touches. You don't want to be spreading that salmonella around, or the bacteria around that can cause salmonella. All right, now our legs here are wrapped with this little plastic piece, and we are going to pull that off. You don't want to cook that in with the turkey. It would melt and just be pretty nasty. Many times that little piece of plastic on the inside is attached to a bag of giblets or just extra parts that are in there. So it looks like this one, I don't believe it is attached to that, but we do have this nice piece of fat here that we'll use later on to help us to wrap the legs. And we're going to pull this out. It's not always easy to do, but as a matter of fact, they're making this one really difficult. I've never seen one quite in there like this one is. Let's see, and we do have a bag that's actually still somewhat frozen of those extra pieces, and there's some ice there. And I'm going to just pull that out. There's not much in there. It's probably the heart and gizzard and things like that. There is some more ice. I'm going to go ahead and try to get as much of that out as I can. Although now my hand is frozen, I can't feel it. Okay, let's see. Well, you get to watch me struggle to get this piece out. Goodness gracious. I just have to pull it. There we go. And you can see a big piece there. All right. So now what I said is that, and there's, you can see there's some extra fat and things in there. I want to leave that in because I want to make sure that my turkey is getting very, very moist. Now I'm going to use this piece here to hold my turkey legs back in, and I'm just going to pierce it a little bit so that we can put our turkey legs in here like this. And this will actually help to hold the shape of the turkey if we can get it to keep it from tearing. There we go. Okay, so that's good. Now, this is the back side with the wings, and there's a little extra fat here. I'm going to leave that because that will make some extra good gravy. I'll leave that. But you can cut that off if you don't want all of that. And this is the breast side. Now this one has a little plastic piece in it that you can use if you choose to tell you when that turkey is done. We're not going to need that. Oh, this is not working as well as I would like it to, but we're going to make it work. We're going to get it. Just cut another little hole in there. That was kind of thin. All right, there we go. Put that leg up in there. Sometimes you feel like you have to kind of manhandle your bird, and that's what we're doing. Okay, so we've got those turkey legs there. And again, I am not going to season mine. Now he's a little lopsided, but that's not going to matter. We're going to put him breast side down in the pot. And actually, it's not going to really go down in that pot because it's long, but you'll see. Well, I'm going to take a moment and wash my hands. I'm going to just slide this out of the way so that we can bring our Instant Pot back into view here. Okay, and let's see. I think we've got it lined up pretty well. So I'm going to take the lid off. You can see down inside of the pot, I already have the trivet in place, but I want to spray the inside of the pot with a cooking spray. And I'm using just a Great Value extra virgin olive oil spray. And I'm going to leave the trivet in the pot as I spray the pot so that it gets coated as well. And I'm spraying all around the sides and spraying the trivet very well as well. All right. Now we're going to bring the turkey over. Let me put this lid way out of the way. I am going to use, we need to use some liquid in the pot. At least in an 8-quart, at least a half a cup. Usually you would use more than that because you have like a minimum requirement of, I believe, 1.5 cups to 2 cups of liquid. But because this turkey is going to produce some liquid, I don't need to start out with that much liquid. I just need to have enough that it will bring it to pressure. So I have some reduced sodium chicken broth that I'm going to pour in, about a half a cup, maybe cup to half a cup in the bottom of the pot. All right, put that to the side. And then we're going to get our turkey placed in there. and see. Now, when I tried to put this turkey in to see how it would work when it was frozen solid, well, it did not give, and I thought this may not work at all. So we're going to see how this works. We don't want it to be coming up out of the pot. We want it to be inside the pot very, very well. Oh, and I said turkey, our breast side down, so we want to make sure we do that. Breast side down with the legs. Oh, and that works much better when we do that. And that's going to fit very nicely. I do have to kind of push it down pretty well, but that is definitely not going to be above my max fill line. All right, and once again, I'm going to wash my hands. Now I'm going to wipe around the outside, the rim here of this pot, because we were getting quite a bit of that turkey breast around the outside, and I really don't want that to make contact with my lid. Here we go. We're going to put this lid on. It helps put it on this right way. So we line the arrows up. There we go. You can hear the lovely little sound. I love that sound. And then we turn the lid, and we are going to pressure cook this turkey 6 minutes per pound. Now, my turkey was 9.33 pounds. I'm going to say it was 9.5 pounds. So let's use handy dandy Alexa just to make sure we're getting our math right. Alexa, what is 9.5 times 6?
9.5 times 6 is 57.
All right, so Alexa says we need to cook our turkey for 57 minutes. Now I'm going to see if I can get this around where you can see the front of my pot. I have to tilt it a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to hit the pressure cook button, which is here at the top left-hand corner of this pot, and then I'm going to press the button in the middle for custom, and then all I have to do is put the number of minutes, and she said 56 minutes. I'm going to go actually up to a full hour, so we're just going to keep turning this until, and it's a nice big display. It's not easy for me to hold this up. 1 hour right there, and we're on high. I apologize if you can't see that, but we're going to start this. Press the start button on this one. It beeps several times and says pressure and preheating. Pressure is on high. We're preheating, and away we go. So in about an hour, I'm going to check back with you, actually a little bit more than an hour because it'll take a while to come up to pressure. We'll check back on it and see how we're doing. And I wanted to also show you one other thing here. I told you I would go over this. On this Instant Pot Duo Evo Plus, we don't have to do anything about turning the pressure knob or pressure release or anything. It just automatically handles everything for us. So that's one of the nice features about this pot. I also have an Ultra that does the same thing. The buttons are slightly different on the top of it, but it's a wonderful feature to have. And I've gotten so used to using my Ultra, that was the first pot that I had, that it's very hard for me on my other pots to remember to press that or to push that steam release button back so that it's not releasing the steam and taking too long to come to pressure. So I'm sure everybody struggles with that, trying to remember it. All right, like I said, we'll check back in about an hour and see how that turkey is looking. We'll do it cook it for an hour, and then I believe we need to do about a 10-minute release on it. I'm going to double check that though, and I'll let you know when we come back. All right, fingers crossed. We're back with our turkey, and I did let it sit for about 20 minutes. I only intended for it to go about 10 minutes as the recipe instructed, but we've been cooking some other things, so we're going to release this. And this pot, this Instant Pot Duo Evo Plus, just has a little lever that you pull, and it's such a neat device because instead of shooting that steam straight up, it has a little cap over the top that allows the steam to kind of disperse a little bit in a more gentle fashion. You can probably tell that by the volume in which I'm speaking. It seems to be doing pretty well. So we're going to let that release, and then we're going to open it up and see what it looks like. And we need to get our temperature gauge out here too, because we want to make sure that our turkey is done. So we'll give that just a few minutes to get finished releasing and we'll check it out. All right, there's our lovely turkey. Wow, that is just beautiful. And I have a thermometer here. I'm going to try to put it in. We want to touch the meat, but not the bone. That says it's 208 degrees. That's around a thigh piece. 208, 210 there. I'm assuming the breast is going to be even more done than that on the other side. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this out. I'm going to remove the broth and reserve that because we're going to use that for another recipe. And then we're going to put the turkey back in with the breast side up, and I have a little surprise for you. So we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, I've taken the turkey out of the pot, and I wanted you to get an idea of how much broth was in the bottom of that pot. I don't know if you remember, I only put about a cup to a cup and a half of broth, and it has reproduced probably, well, it says it's a quart. It's at the quart line. So we've got quite a bit of broth there, and we are going to utilize that for something else. So we'll be right back. I let the turkey cool down for a little bit, or rest rather, for about 10 minutes. It just made it a little bit easier to handle. And I have put it back in the Instant Pot after removing all of the liquid. Now, the reason that I've done this is because we're going to try out a brand new item, something that I have never tried out. I just received this a couple of weeks ago, and this will be our first time to use it. It is called either, I don't know how to pronounce it, it's either Mealthy or Mealthy CrispLid. And I'm going to adjust this a little bit so that you can see what this looks like. All right, let's turn it a little bit so we can get an idea of what this thing is looking like. All right, so I have put it on top of the 8-quart. This is an 8-quart pot, and the turkey is still inside. The pot is unplugged, so my Instant Pot is completely unplugged. The Mealthy is the only thing that is plugged in, and we're gonna just kind of figure out what these buttons do. And right now it looks like they don't do anything. Am I disconnected or not plugged in? Maybe I didn't plug it in. No, got that there. Ah, there was a little button in the back to turn it on. Okay, so, well, okay, so this device, in order for it to even come on for you to set the temperature or the time, the handle has to be all the way down. I was mistaken. I thought it had to be down for it to start cooking, but it has to be down for it to even be set. So we're going to set the temperature here with this button, and we're just kind of trying this out. So I'm going to put it to 425. We're going to set the time with this button here. It says 30 minutes. I'm going to leave it at that because we're going to just check on it every so often and see what we think. And then I'm assuming that this is the start button, and we will hit that. And look at it light up. And it's quiet. I don't know if you can tell. I mean, there's a little added noise, but it's not objectionable. For example, if I was teaching a class and had this going in the background, it would not bother me in the least. It's not loud enough to interfere with my class. So I'm pretty happy with it. I just can't wait to check it, but a minute out is not going to be enough time, so we'll give it a little bit more time and see how it goes. And I'll check back with you in just a moment. Okay, as you can see from the timer, it's been just, about 8 minutes, and I can see inside of the pot, and it just looks gorgeous. So I'm going to stop it for just a moment, and we're going to pull this lid off and take a look at it. And oh my gosh, is that not the most beautiful? It just doesn't do it justice to see it on the camera, but in person, I mean, I see people put all these different kinds of paint and things on these turkeys to make them brown up perfectly. And I have to say, this is the prettiest turkey I've ever made.